All right, welcome back to Milliken Fishing, part 2 of our winter fishing vlog day. Joe, where'd we make it to?
I have no idea what this place is called.
Fire pond! Water probably is super cold. We're a little bit limited because a third of the lake has ice on it because the water's so nice and it's such a balmy day. It's about 35 degrees outside. Looks like the water is nice and clean. So that probably tells me we're gonna be able to catch some on a jerkbait, I hope. Probably drag a jig out deep, see if we can make it happen there. Let's get her going. No, its channel comes all the way through here. There's trees, but it's hard in some spots. There's a really good sweet spot down over there that we'll hit.
Hard on.
Hard on. It's hard on it. Flair shot a video here a couple weeks ago. He even caught some out deep. Didn't catch any big ones, of course, because he's Flair. And it's gone. What in the... Snagged again. Line, of course. Why not? These all used to be up out of the water. God damn it. There's a brush pile over there. I'll probably get snagged in or catch a fish, one of the two. I don't know. Probably just a giant. Usually when it's this clear, you can catch them on a jerkbait really well. Yeah. Juan would think. 60 yards of fishing line on the end of my jig. Would you catch one, please? I want to catch one right off the edge of the ice. I've never done that before. And there's a pile of fish right there. Cats. Turd rollers. What? What's your idea?
I'm gonna polar plunge. And belly flop. Straight up in the eye. Fully naked.
Alright.
Camera in it, and they'll just be, I'm gonna have my arms out like this, and it'll just be a man frame. Think it'll work?
Yeah, go for it.
I'll do it, but we gotta go as soon as I get out.
Alright, here we go. Punching ice mats. My weight went through. Oh, oh, there she went. Oh, here he goes. Punching ice mats. That's weird we didn't catch any. I figured we would. Not. You jumping in or what? You go first and then I'll do it after.
What, am I gonna get sicker?
Yeah, die. That'll get views. Joe dies on camera. I like it. Gotta be on the wind-blown side. Beauty. Nice cast. This point probably have one on it. Point with a bunch of grass on it before they move back there. Yeah. I'm just kidding, there ain't any fish in here.
Winner of the ice plunge might be the freaking one that catches the fish here.
Mm-hmm. Told you this lake is fire.
Fire lake.
Fire lake! That a babe. That's a good one. Nice fish. Get him. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's a nice one, dude. It's like what, 3.5? Thick. You ever caught one that big before?
No, this is the first time.
Personal best. Fire lake!
No.
Are you gonna
He's dead.
Have a birthday party for him, or are you gonna take him off the hook?
I can't do it, Dad.
For the love. Good wad.
Not a bad one.
Not a bad one at all.
Bye-bye.
Alright, that's a wrap on the winter fishing vlog for the day. Not the best on the second lake here, but can't complain to get out early December. Water was in the upper 30s, so I guess the lesson to be learned is fish extremely slow because they are not active at all. Joe ended up catching the big fish here, the only fish here, about a 3.5 pounder, so you can't complain with that. But we're wrapping down for the season, and it's not gonna be too much longer before we got ice on the lakes. For now, Team Shake and Bake is out. What'd you think of the lake, Joe?
I'd give that a good $5 worth for me and my whole family.
Fire lake!
A few moments later.
All right, well, we got Joe shipped back to Ouija. Thought I'd go ahead and give you a little bit of a breakdown of the baits I caught the fish on today, since second lake today was not so hot. Only caught that one fish, but you know what? Ended up being a great day. Had a great time on the water with one of my best friends. Caught some great fish at the first lake. Got a good one at the second lake, so I really can't complain. Always a good time. You know, I didn't really want to have the video to have only one fish catch in it. Unfortunately, that's all we ended up with at the second lake, but I'm going to go ahead and go into detail about the baits we used today. Go in depth a little bit and tell you why I like to do things the way I do, and the exact baits that I use when the water is super ultra cold like it was today. Of course, we've got our Maker's Mark going, since it's, I don't know, there's no special occasion needed for Maker's Mark. Sitting in front of the beautiful Nebraska football shrine. We're coming for you, Kevin Baxter and your Tennessee Volunteers. I don't know, the game doesn't matter at all, but ask Peyton Manning how he feels about the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Makovica rumbling into the secondary. Director agreed with the decision. Frost up and over and in for a touchdown. Manning running out of time. He's sacked by Mike Rucker. Top-ranked defense, the best defense in the country. Frost scores another touchdown.
Let's start off with the jerkbait. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about this 6 Sense 106 DD. I've made several videos using this bait now. I made a video just about using this jerkbait, if you want to check it out right there. Great, great cold water bait. All I'm going to tell you about this one is when it's super, super cold outside, I do like to make an adjustment. Instead of giving it little twitches like I talked about in my jerkbait video, I like to give it pulls, and that's something my buddy Joe I was fishing with today kind of clued me into when he got his good fish today. When the water is ultra cold below 40 degrees like it was, those long pulls that just make the bait, it just shimmies a little bit and moves forward. A lot better for those super, super lethargic bass. The big fish know that a bait fish is not going to be moving that fast in 40 degree water and below. Alright, so next bait, this is the one I caught about half the fish on today, the old football jig. And yes, it is the jig that I just got done making in this video. This is a 3/4 ounce football jig, and I'll tell you exactly why I use it and the modifications I make. First off, the modifications. I always, when the water is cold, say below 45 degrees, I'll trim it to a finesse skirt. And then I'm going to take it from there, and this is the one time of the year I'm going to trim it all the way down to below the hook shank. And I'll tell you why that's important. I feel like a lot of guys think when the water's cooling down in the fall, the bass want a bait that's big and bulky because they know they want to eat a big meal before the winter to fatten up for the winter. And I don't disagree with that. I will throw a big jig and a big swim bait, big crankbait. I'll throw that all the way until the water gets down to about 45 degrees. I feel like at that point, the fish's metabolism gets so slow that you want as compact a bait, small bait as possible. So even though you want a small bait, you want a heavy bait. We're fishing 12 to 15 to 20 feet of water in these rock piles today. You want this bait dragging on the bottom. So I want a little bait, but I don't want it to be making sharp rips up off the bottom. So every time I pull it horizontally, I don't want the bait coming up off the bottom. That's gonna look unnatural to the fish because, like I said, The bait fish, the crawdads, everything else is moving so slow when the water gets down that cold. It's just not natural to the bass when it's moving that much. Now to add to that compact profile, I prefer a rage craw for this technique because those claws I feel like have a nice wide posture. This is the one time of the year I'll do this when the bite is super tough, when it's super cold out. I'll cut it way down so it's that small. And so you can see super small compact crawdad bait. You know, it's probably only 3 inches long total, but it's a super heavy bait. It's that 3/4 1 ounce football jig that will prop it up and sit up, and it's not a big profile, and that I think is just absolutely dynamite and super important when that water gets down below 45 degrees if you're gonna have any luck at all. So the second part of that is this 6th Sense Divine hybrid jig, and this is what I was using whenever I got out around those deep brush piles, fishing way down in 18 to 25 feet of water today. Obviously that's where those bass are going to winter. So they're moving out in those deep brush piles. They've probably just got there the last couple weeks when the water went from mid to upper 40s all the way down to 40, 38 degrees. But I'll do the same exact thing I do here with the football jig, and that's make it as small as I possibly can. So I'll take it and I'll separate all these strands from the top part of the skirt band to the bottom part, and then I'll trim these top ones off so it's a finesse profile again. So this is my deep brush pile jig. This is what I want when I'm fishing any type of wood cover. And I'll take this and I'll trim it all the way up, even above the hook. And this looks stupid. It looks like a little puff ball. There's not a whole lot to it. I want it to be as heavy as possible. I don't feel like you can fish a brush pile effectively with a jig in over 15 feet of water with less than a 3/4 1 ounce jig. I just don't feel like you can keep it down there in the brush pile, working up over the limbs and shooting right back down over them. To me, that's the best thing you can possibly do. And what I do with the brush jig is I will actually put a double tail grub on it. I'm going to cut just a little bit off there so it's got about the same length. So and then of course I'll thread it onto the jig, just like the football jig. So again, super small, heavy, compact jig, and this is absolutely perfect. It's what I caught that first big fish on today. Really clued me in that those fish were in their winter pattern, already in the middle of all those brush piles. Look at these jigs. These jigs are both heavy, sink quickly, and they stay on the bottom, but they're super small. I think that's where a lot of guys get carried away with the size of their bait. You know, maybe even a full-size jig, I don't feel like you would have gotten the bites today, just because they're just not active enough. They don't eat enough, and their metabolism's not quick enough to where they'll be eating a big meal at this point in the season. And I know it's this way in a lot of the parts of the country. You know, it's super cold right now. The water temperatures in probably half the country are below 45 degrees. Absolutely dynamite jigs to be throwing right now. Great modifications you can make to your jigs. I hope you guys learned something here. You know, there was a great time today out in the water, and it's never too cold to get out and fish. If you have open water, the bass might be slowed way down, but all you got to do is make adjustments and fish the conditions, and you can catch some good fish. Again, take a look down in the description. I'll post links to every bait and rod and reel combinations we use today to catch our fish. It's super cold outside, like I said. It's going to be in the teens and down in the single digits with wind chills below 0 in Nebraska this week. So probably my open water season around here anyways is going to be done, but that's okay. We'll be getting down to some power plant lakes and down to the Ozark lakes this winter, and also doing a lot of ice fishing, I hope. So let me know, like usual, what videos you want to see coming up. I'd love to have any ideas from you guys. I got a couple things I'm working on right now. Thanks a ton for watching. Peace out.